A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus told his disciples a parable. Can a blind person guide another blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? No disciple is superior to the teacher. But when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me remove the splinter in your eye," when you do not even notice the wooden beam in your own eye? You hypocrite, remove the wooden beam from your eye first, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye. A good tree does not bear rotten fruit, nor does a rotten tree bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its own fruit. For people do not pick figs from thorn bushes, nor do they gather grapes from brambles. A good person out of the store of goodness in his heart produces good, but an evil person out of a store of evil produces evil. For from the fullness of the heart the mouth speaks. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. The scene was a market day in the city of Athens. Everyone was busy trying to buy what they were looking for at a bargain price. In one corner of the market, however, there was a strange quiet. Someone whom most people admired and respected walked among the crowd. He was a famous man who had condescended to patronize the marketplace. People moved aside to let him have his walkabout. He wasn't a television star. He wasn't a film star. The time was still BC. Neither was he a member of the royal household. He was an orator renowned for his eloquence. There was something odd about his appearance. In spite of being a rich man, he wore tattered clothes. He dressed in rags with diligence and care other people dress in formal clothes. He was clearly pleased at the theatrical impression he was making on the onlookers, until a voice in the crowd shouted, "Antisthenes, Antisthenes, I can see your pride through the hole in your cloak." For once, the great orator had nothing to say. My dear friends, humility is a matter of honoring the truth about ourselves and other people. Humility is a candid acceptance of reality, an unfuzzy recognition of what is true. In today's gospel, Jesus names as hypocrites those who notice faults in others, but who are blind to their own shortcomings, thereby passing themselves off as something they are clearly not. In his teaching, Jesus touches on an important subject in all personal relationships, namely how self-criticism is an essential part of genuine relations with other people. To be critical of others while at the same time lacking any sense of self-criticism ourselves, dear friends, is a profitless pastime. To expect high standards from others while readily finding excuses for our own lackluster performance can only be a fruitful, or rather fruitless, exercise. Apart from anything else, it makes us appear little more than insufferable. Telling the truth about others is rarely sufficient recommendation in itself. The process may be nothing more than scapegoating. And at the end of that process, we usually end up with a victim, not a convert. This does not mean, however, that we are condemned to silence, rendered incapable of making our reservations felt about people and issues. Other people will pay more attention to what we have to say when they detect that we are aware of our own shortcomings and that our criticism does not emerge from a place of self-righteousness. When we acknowledge our own scars of conscience, others will be more inclined to heed our own words. We all know, dear friends, from experience that people can greet criticism with reactions that vary from eyebrow raising to nuclear war. How do you tell the truth to people without stealing their dignity or causing them deep pain of mind? The gospel says a person's words flow out of what fills his or her heart, which leads to the question, what fills our hearts? What kind of heart is behind the way we criticize others? My dear friends, the way we offer criticism depends on our heart condition. William Penn, the great Quaker and champion of religious tolerance, once said, "They have a right to censure that have a heart to help." I think that insight makes good commentary on the gospel of today. When people know that our heart is behind our censure, that what we say comes from a genuine attempt to help them, they might actually listen to us. In the language of the gospel, criticism must come from the store of the goodness in our heart. If that goodness is absent, we would be better keeping silent. Sharing a bad heart converts no one. Sharing the goodness in our heart, however, is no guarantee that others will greet our criticism with applause. But then, we all know that Jesus was rarely applauded when he exercised his critical mind. Like him, we have to soldier on, even when the ratings go down. After all, the gospel also says a fully trained disciple will always be like his teacher. Have a blessed week ahead. Thank you.